To Monday Live. I'm Dina Rico with the Creativity Cave. I'm so happy to see you here. I hope that you are ready for some stamping fun. Just gonna grab my Stampin' Lips. That makes everything better. I hope that you are having just a fantastic day and had a great weekend. It was a weird weekend weather-wise here. It was warm and then it was cold. Ooh, sorry, my Stampin' Lips are tougher than I thought they'd be today. I am so happy to see you. We had kind of a low-key, relatively uneventful weekend. My son's birthday was Saturday. I'm pretty sure it was Saturday. So that was kind of exciting, although he is up at school, so I didn't see him. But of course, we talked and texted and all the things. I sent him a Chipotle gift card because I know my love is shown to him through his stomach. And he goes, "Oh, I'm glad you said something. I thought that was spam." So anyway, that's funny. So I'm glad I did say something because he didn't believe it was real. He thought it was like spam. So anyway, also my husband and I tackled a storage room disaster and got that mostly taken care of. We only made one trip to the dump, but another one is coming. So, but that's all good. And I worked on getting my final preparations for my watercolor retreat, which is happening this weekend. I'm so excited. I hope to remember to take pictures of everything because sometimes I forget to do that, but I am super excited about people are coming in from all over the country. So I'm really honored and humbled that people would travel to come see me, little old me. So I hope the weekend is everything that that they're looking for. I think it'll be good. I'm excited. I was painting last night going, ooh, we could do this too, and this and this. So I just got to keep my head about me because sometimes I get a little overzealous in what I think we should accomplish. But anyway, it's going to be lots of fun. Today is the last day to submit your project for this month's Stampin' with the Creativity Cave card challenge over on our Facebook group. So make sure you get registered for that. I think it will be a lot of fun, and it's a really easy layout. So I think everybody can do it. So I hope you'll join us, and then I will draw a winner next week. And then, oh gosh, is there anything else? I feel like there's something more I need to tell you, but I don't know. What would it be? I don't know. Last week was a very busy week here at the Creativity Cave. We shipped lots of stuff. We prepped lots of stuff. We got lots of stuff done, and I'm hoping this week will be a teeny bit less or more relaxed, which means I can do more watercoloring because let's be honest, that's what's awesome. Everybody needs a hobby, right? So let's see. What else I swear there was a story that I was like, had my brain earmarked that I needed to tell you, and now I can't think of what it is. Oh, that is not good. Okay. Let's see. Somebody asked if I would, if I will be doing my retreat again, and I think the answer to that is yes. I just need to find a date. We've got a bunch of different things coming up over the next couple months between travel, catalog launches, track meets. I'm actually going on vacation. I'm really excited about that. Like, I hope to really go on vacation. I also think that I don't know, do you guys struggle with this? And I fully understand what I'm saying as a person whose business is online and based on social media in a large part. I think I'm addicted to Instagram. Like, I scroll through Instagram way too much. Like, I got to get that under control. And I don't know how exactly to do that because it's bad. Um, I noticed that I spend, well, okay, so let me back up just a teeny bit. I'm trying super hard to not do any like business work outside of business hours, if that makes sense. You know, like people message me all hours of the day and night. And I believe there are a lot of you who are night owls. And so I try super hard to not answer things outside of work hours because otherwise I literally am working 24/7. And so I try to keep that boundary for myself. Also, because my husband, like, insert eye roll, he gets frustrated with me because I'll be like, it's for work. And he'll be like, anyway. um, but I got going on Instagram like this, probably this past fall. And I haven't, I don't know. The colors, there's so much on there that's just so fascinating. Anyway, so I'm trying to stay off of there a little bit, but it's not going well so far. So I know somebody said set a timer. Okay, so I don't think that's so much the issue. Here's what happens. I think to myself, okay, I need to post something on Facebook. And so then I post my thing on Facebook. And then after I'm done posting, I start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then I've looked at a cow hoof video. What? I have looked at a gymnastics reel or something because I loved gymnastics during the Olympics. So those reels keep coming up for me. Sometimes there's card making things, but like all this stuff that has nothing to do with anything that I actually went on there for, but I get squirreled away for a alarming amount of time. And so it starts out innocently enough, or this is even better. I start with the intention to post something like for my business on social media. And then I look at all this other stuff and then I can't remember what I was actually getting on there for. And so I haven't actually posted the thing that I've meant to, and then I've been on there for forever. That is a real problem for me as well. It's just so bad. It is a big rabbit hole. So, but anyway, I'm really interested in trying to manage that better because it's so bad. And so here's the other thing. And okay, I'm not going to cry another week. So yesterday I found out that one of my team members passed away kind of unexpectedly. She'd been having some health problems, but oh my gosh, you guys, that one really hit me hard. Just the sweetest lady. You probably would recognize her because she was on my lives a lot. Her name was Joy, not Joyce. Bless her heart. Her legal name was Joyce, and I think she hated it. So I literally addressed packages to her as Joy, not Joyce. And I was just so heartbroken to hear that she had passed away. Such a sweet lady, super positive, and just sassy. Like I loved her. Really a quick wit, very intelligent, and loved card making. She was one of my first few team members that wasn't like from Iowa locally that I knew. She signed up when my business started growing online, and gosh, I loved her so much. Probably my favorite memory of her, well, two things. One, she is so sweet. She made her son and daughter-in-law drive her from Ohio to where I used to live in Iowa, so she could meet me. It was a team event we were having, and we had a great time. It was, I think, one of my first team events where we had wind-up toy races. We had bought these dinosaurs wind-up toys, and she was there for that. And we had name tags, and I was so excited that she was coming, so I got her a big glittery one and wrote Joy, not Joyce, on her name tag. Anyway, and then another time I had gone to Ohio right before COVID hit. Well, a few months before COVID hit, and had a big event there for my team because I had a bunch of team members in Ohio, and she was one of them. And we like after all the team stuff was done, or the event, we went back to our hotel room, and we were just being silly. I think there might have been margaritas involved. I can't remember, but I think so. Anyway, she was there, and we just had such a good time, and she just was a riot. She just was so much fun. So anyway, so that actually does bring me to one thing that I wanted to say, and we're going to make a card for this. But I think it is so important to make sure to tell just random people that something, just anything, you were thinking about them, that you're glad you know them, that you are, you appreciate them, or, whatever. Because Paula, Paula was there. I think they were the margaritas that Amanda made, and she made them strong. Anyway, so Joy was amazing at sending cards. She was super sweet to Carl. I don't know if you guys, some of you might remember, we made cards for Carl a few years ago for his birthday, and I had requested cards probably during COVID. And she sent many cards to me and to Carl, which just was so sweet. In fact, Carl, even, this is so sweet, he saw my post yesterday on Facebook, and he said, "I'm so sorry about Joy." I'm like, "Oh, you remembered her." I don't think he actually ever met her, but oh, maybe he did. But anyway, so my challenge to you is to send a card to somebody just because, not because it's their birthday, not because something, something's going on, like, a reason, send a card to somebody for no good reason is my point. I think it just is important. I wouldn't know her if it weren't for card making. So I think there's so many people out there like that, and I think it's just a good thing to do. So whether it's a card maker or just a family member, a friend you haven't talked to, someone that you know in your life, let them know that they were special. Let them know that you're thinking about them, whatever it is, because gosh, I think that would just make a difference in the life of people. So I challenge all of you to do that. And I think that it's just so fun. It's just so fun to share what we love doing with other people, whether they love it or not. Obviously, the people who love what we do understand and appreciate cards probably a little differently than people who don't. But anyway, I just hope you'll do that. Also, if you're in my Sunshine, Sunning Sunshine and Rainbows group, I will post a nomination for Joy's son and daughter-in-law to receive cards, because they were very close, and they lived on the same, like not in the same house, but in the same property. So, I mean, they spent a lot of time together, and they were very, very sweet. I obviously met them when they came to Iowa with Joy, and just super kind. She raised a good boy. So anyway, so I hope you'll join me for that, and watch for that nomination. I'll probably get it up tomorrow. So anyway, well, thank you for letting me talk about Joy. I did pretty good. I didn't cry this time. I did cry yesterday. Gosh, when I found out, that one just really got me, Okay. So, If you're just joining live, go back and watch the beginning, just saying. All right, I'm going to flip my camera around. I'm going to tell you a few things, and then we're going to stamp. We have kind of a random hodgepodge of things to make today, which I think will be fun. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think you guys are going to love it, or at least I hope you will love it as well. Okay, so I'm going to flip my camera here. Close your eyes for just a moment while I adjust this, because it always takes a hot second to get it right. Okay, there we go. I cleaned off my desk today, so it's not even like bad, which is, well, let's just be honest, unusual for me. All right. Well, the Thankful Garden class went out today. If you ordered your packet before, I think Thursday, we shipped that all out last week. And if you ordered it after Thursday, it'll go out tomorrow. Because we ship typically on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays here at the Creativity Cave. The class is just lovely, if I can just say. Really pretty cards. Really love this bundle so much. In fact, we're probably going to make a card with it today because I just think we should. And it is a really fun set. It's got these decorative masks, which make it super easy to work with, and I love that. So anyway, there you go. So if you haven't registered for this, I do have a few packets left, like 2 or 3. So make sure and grab one while they're available. There should be a link in the description of this video for you for that. And then we will have a new online class coming out tomorrow. We haven't actually decided for sure which one, because we're waiting on product availability, but watch my social media and my emails because we will keep you posted. Also, I'm very excited about this month's Paint with Dina lessons because we are going to do spring flowers, which just makes my heart happy. And I've got some really great things coming up, so stay tuned for that. I think my first video for April is going to drop maybe not tomorrow, but probably Wednesday. So I'm definitely will have one out before my retreat happens. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, and ooh, you're going to like that. My Sunshine and Creativity box subscription. Today is the last day to get the April box. Make sure you registered before the end of today to get that, the 31st, to get the April box. And the April box is, oh boy, girls and boys, a passion project of mine. It might sound silly, but black and white with a pop of color. Oh my, it's one of my favorites. I've been thinking about this theme for actually quite a while. Can't wait. The cards are going to be awesome. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. Can you tell? And if you would like this month's box, which actually I can just say right now was a winner. We did using up your scraps, and I loved those projects so much. I do have a couple of those boxes available for purchase. If you're interested, let me know. We'll get it on the website probably tomorrow, but I do have some, so shoot me an email if you are interested. It was a good box, I'm just saying. All right, and then finally, we have our last host code. Host codes are going away after like the 12th. So our last card kit is going through next Sunday, or this coming Sunday, so a week from yesterday, to get the projects we made last week. So if you haven't already, I would appreciate an order. Now, the last chance list is going to be posted like late tonight, midnight Stampin' Up! Time. So make sure you are registered, or I'm sorry, what am I saying? Make sure that you are checking that last chance list. So it should post. Things that are retiring for sure are the outgoing in colors. Those are Boho Blue, Pebbled Path, Copper Clay, Moody Mauve, Wild Wheat. The Wild Wheat cardstock has already sold out, friends. So if you would like an ink pad or a refill or cardstock, make sure and get those as soon as possible. At that last chance list, there will likely be discounts available. So watch for that, because who doesn't like a discount? I like a discount. And then one more reminder that cardstock prices will be going up starting May 5th. So if there is cardstock that you would like to stock up on, make sure you get some ordered, because I suspect that could potentially run out as well. Our basic white packages in the 40 packs are sold out. They're gone already. That means that you can get the new white cardstock that's packaged in 24 sheets, but the price has gone up. So just be aware of that. All right. Now, when you use my host code and spend $50, you'll get the card kit from last week. Plus, you'll get the All-Star Video Class Bundle PDF. I'll show that in a second. We have a new one coming out tomorrow. And then if you spend $75 or more, you'll get all of the above plus an embellishment to go with your card kit. This month's mixed media through tonight, or this month's All-Star Video Class Bundle through tonight, is the mixed media florals. These are such fun projects. I made, if I can just say, a beautiful watercolored card. And I think you'll love this PDF. It is a lot of fun. Okay, and then tomorrow our PDF will start, is the beautiful bokeh, which is the beautiful butterflies bundle, which actually we're going to use on a project today, so, or some of it. All right, enough jibber jabber. It's time to make some cards. So our first card is, this is kind of a fun one. I made a color or a card with this color combination last, well, I don't know, probably about a year ago in our Stamp Happy Academy. And one of the things that happens in Stamp Happy Academy, if you aren't aware, is we have lives, and then we have like what's called a basic membership. The basic membership has like class PDFs added to it. The lives are, Barb, Kelly, and I do a live throughout the month, each month. And then in those lives, we do card layouts, techniques, fun folds, and color combinations. And so about a year ago, I did a color combination, and I just saw one of the cards I made from that color combination and thought, ooh, I want to make something with that because it's such a good spring color. So anyway, I'm going to make a project from that. Now, if you haven't ever tried out Stamp Happy Academy, oh my gosh, give it a shot. We have so many fun things coming up. We are about to announce some new fun things that are happening. Of course, we will have a new catalog kickoff party happening. It's actually going to start in April, and we'll have details on that. So just watch for that information. But what I wanted to do was use the color combination, which is Lemon Lolly, Lemon Lime Twist, Granny Apple Green, and Flirty Flamingo. So doesn't this just look springy to you? It's great for Easter and whatnot. So I thought this would be a fun card to make with that color combination. I'm going to use the Pattern of Friendship bundle. Now this is a bundle that's a little different. It's got a stamp set, and then it's got this die. And so I ran this die through my machine, and I ran it through 2 times. So I ran it through one time like this, and then I turned my paper 90 degrees and ran it through a second time like this. I will also tell you my tip for this so that it's straight. Ask me how I know. Is to run it upside down in your machine. So I ran it like this. Actually, I'm just going to grab my plate so I can show you. So I had my kind of clean plate, so the die piercing side is facing up, and boom, like that. And then I flipped it and did it again like this. Now on a big die like this, a couple of pieces of advice, and this is in general. If you have a real squared off die, whether it's a rectangle or a square or whatever, if you tilt it, even just the teeniest bit like this, you can see this would be straight, this is tilted, just ever so slightly, it will run through better and run and cut better. Also on this particular die, because of the way, the nature of it, it slips. If you, because normally I would put the die cutting side down, or in this case it's like piercing, and run it through. But that is blind. You can't see what's happening. So it moves and then it gets crooked and then you get mad. I'm just saying, that's what happened to me. So this allows you to see what's happening if you have it going facing up through your machine. Okay, so when I did it both ways, I got this kind of cool plaid pattern. So this is going to be my background of my card. And so let's go ahead and attach this. And it just does some piercing, which is kind of fun and a little bit different. Okay, so my card base is Lemon Lolly with this pierced piece. Then I'm going to use the sentiments in this set, which, by the way, are fantastic. And these are, Tisha's asking what catalog is this in. It's not. It's an online exclusive that's available right now. Okay, so then I wanted to add my layers. So I've got, I started with a 3x4 of Lemon Lime Twist. Then I've got a 2 7/8 by 3 7/8 piece of Granny Apple Green. Then I have a 2 5/8 by 3 5/8 basic white, and a 2.5 by 3.5 Flirty Flamingo Designer Series paper. Which is from the Brights color family. So I'm just going to layer these pieces together. And then I'm going to layer these pieces together. And then I'm going to adhere this piece to my card like this. And then I'm going to pop this up. And I wanted to add to it some ribbon, so I'm going to use some of our white woven ribbon. Denise is asking, how do I sign up for my box for April? There is a link in the description for Sunshine and Creativity Delivered, so you can find it in there. It's also, I actually posted a little reel about it on social media today, which has a link to it. Okay, so I'm going to tie this on here in a bow. I don't always do bows on a card like this, but I think a bow would be just fabulous. And hi, Kathy from Albuquerque. Albuquerque is really hard to spell. I'm just going to tell you that. You probably know it. Okay. Melanie asked if is there a joining special for April. Not that I'm aware of, Melanie. But you can, if you are interested in joining, you can get pre-order items in your starter kit starting right now. I don't believe there will be one for April, just saying. They haven't said anything, and typically if there is one, we are at least aware of it. And they did not, there's been no discussion of that. So unless I am sitting under a rock, and I'm not, I do not believe there will be one. By the way, I wanted my card to be like this. All right, so I'm going to pop this layer up. And one of the things I love doing on a card like this is to pop up layers in between layers. Like there's all these layers, you know, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers right here that are, you know, similar in size. And so I like splitting them up a little bit by popping up something. You could even pop up a couple of these, but yeah. Okay, so there we go. That looks cute. And then what I'm going to do is just take this scrap. I could not find another scrap big enough for this. And I'm going to stamp my little sentiment here. which says, thinking of you brings a smile to my face. And this kind of was the card that I had in mind when I talked about just making a card and sending it to somebody for no good reason. And this is like the perfect sentiment for that. Okay, I'm going to take my 1 3/4 inch circle punch and punch that out. And then I'm just going to pop that up onto my card. And I just think this is so pretty. And a great, great sentiment to send to somebody for just no good reason. And look at how fun that is. All right, now for the inside, the best part is this set has, I like to call it an innie sentiment, something you can stamp on the inside of a card that goes along with it. And so it says, you bring so much joy and laughter to my life. So again, what a lovely thing to say to somebody in a card. Who wouldn't just feel better receiving such a sentiment in the mail? All right, so let's adhere that to the inside, and then that is our first project. So much fun. Aha. Okay, so there we go. Now, we need a little embellishment on there. Because let's be honest, nothing says love like bling. Okay. And wouldn't you know, I was cleaning up my desk today. And so I put away my embellishments that I was going to use. So these are the dots for days, which, by the way, I believe is what I have for my free embellishment this week. So we're just going to add a few of these on here. So cute. So there we go. So much fun. And that's just a nice looking card that you could send somebody. Okay. And it would just brighten someone's day. And the colors are so happy and fun. So there we go. All right. Next up, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we are going to use this. Sorry, gotta get my stuff out. Woo. We are going to use the You Are Remarkable stamp set. Now, this is another one of the March online exclusives that came out. So the Pattern of Friendship we just used is from the March online exclusives, and then this one is this. No, it's not our challenge card. It's not April yet, so the challenge card will come out next week. All right. You Are Remarkable is a really fun and easy stamp set. It's just a standalone stamp set. And look at that cute little bee. I just had to mention that. All right. Now I am going to start my card with a half a sheet of Smoky Slate, which I think is a fun color for a spring card because it's kind of a neutral color. And then I embossed. Now, these are actually pieces that I had kind of sitting around on my desk. So I had this embossed piece of basic white that I thought I'd use, and we're going to adhere it to a piece of Pool Party. And, oops. And then I had these two rectangles that were sitting on my desk from the Textured Notes dies, and we can take and use those for our card as well. So one is in, pretty sure that's Coastal Cabana, and then this is Basic White. So let's take and stamp. So I actually chose the stamp set based on the fact that it was going to fit right here in this little die cut that was sitting on my desk. So I thought y'all would like that. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it. I think I'm going to stamp it in some, no, I'm going to stamp it in black. I couldn't decide. I think we'll do black. All right, so I've got my black memento. Again, this is a white craft uninked pad. It comes uninked, and rather than ink it with the white re-inker that it comes with. I chose instead to ink it with a Memento refill, and that gives me a really nice Memento ink pad. Oh, which will be perfect. Okay, so there's that. Then I'm going to use, this is like a fabulous two-step stamping card. So we're going to use some Granny Apple Green. And we're going to line this up. Now the key to this process is to stick your butt out. By the way, I have to tell you something. I met somebody, I can't remember who this was, but it was probably in the bathroom at Onstage. They were saying something about they learned from me that you stick your butt out to stamp, and I thought, wow, I have done all that I set out to do in life, if that is what they learned. So that made me kind of excited. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is stamp the inside, and I feel like this is going to be a Coastal Cabana, but should it be Daffodil Delight? Oh, goodness. Should we do a Coastal Cabana flower or a Daffodil Delight flower? Let me know in the comments, and I will help you out, or I will stamp what you vote for. All right. Okay, we've got one vote for each. Oh, now we've got two votes. Oh. Ooh, still pretty even. Keep voting. Let me know. Okay. Oh, gosh, it's really pretty even. I feel like Daffodil might have the edge. Oh, but you guys, you're little stinkers. You are voting like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, I feel like Daffodil has it. Arr! How many votes do you get, Paula? 1. Oh, goodness. I'm going to go with Daffodil. I guess, well, if I had 2 labels, I could stamp the second one. And then we could decide. But I stuck my butt out, and boom, I stamped that so nicely. Oh, looks so good. We could put Coastal Cabana on the inside. I know that's probably not really what the color of this flower would be. But you know what? It's our card, and we can that way represent both colors. So there we go. So pretty. And one of the things that I love about this stamp set is it's got really fun little sentiments in it. So I'm going to adhere this label to my card and kind of stick it down. And then I'm going to pop this label up over the top, and then we're going to add some ribbon. And I think the ribbon I'm going to use is this Summer Splash ribbon because it will totally match. And because I'm in a bow mood, we're going to tie another bow because why not? They're just fancy. Now, if you don't find yourself in a bow mood, that's okay. Just tie a knot. No one will know. All right. This is such an easy stamp set to use. But of course, I love it because the possibility does exist for you to watercolor it in, which is awesome. But if you don't like to watercolor, you're still okay because it's a 2-step stamper set, which I think is amazing. Okay. Now, if we would have done the flower in Coastal Cabana, I would have put Daffodil Delight on the inside, just so you know. I had my backup plan all along. Okay. Now I'm going to adhere this to my card base, which again, I just love this smoky slate because it's kind of a nice neutral color, kind of like how I use crumb cake, but obviously similar. Now I could use oh, sorry, one sec. Figures. I was gonna say I could use well, actually I could use the bees on here and that would be super cute. I think I might do that because then I can stamp my bee on the inside. Okay, so we've got these cute little bees. I mean, they're almost too much. They're so cute. Okay, so I'm going to place this on my card with a little glue dot. And I like to just fold back a dot and then press this in. And then we can just stick a couple of these on like so. Then on the inside, we're going to go ahead and add the sentiment because the sentiment, well, isn't going to fit on here, but I love the sentiment. Okay, the sentiment, let's see. Get my Coastal Cabana pad out here. It says, "Friends are flowers in the garden of life." How awesome is that? I think that's just a super cute little sentiment. And I'm just going to stamp it kind of down here in the corner. If you know me, you know I kind of love stamping things that aren't necessarily where you would think, if for lack of a better description. And I thought I had mounted my little, nope. Got to get my cute little bee here. So we're going to add the bee on the inside to this. And I think I'm actually going to do that in Daffodil Delight. Okay. So there's our bee, and that's going to carry that daffodil through to the inside. And it's just so darn cute. I suppose I could do another one like this. No, I'm going to leave it at that. All right. And then we'll put this on the inside of our card. And it's just so springy and fun. So isn't that easy? And another super cute card that you could send to somebody to tell them you were thinking of them and you're glad they're in your life. So, you know what? I think I know who I'm going to send my card to. I have a cousin that lives in Texas that I haven't seen in quite a while. So I think I want to send it to him and his wife because I miss them. So there you go. Okay, there's our second card for today. Now I'm going to close up these ink pads because I know there's somebody out there who's not loving that they're open. And I am going to, I think we're going to have to do a little watercolor. Don't you think? Today's that kind of day. Let's see. Why are my ink pads all off? Oh, no, they're not. I am. I really, sometimes I can be anal about just a couple of things. And one of them is my ink pads being in the right spot in my ink pad holder. I can manage a lot of chaos, but not my ink pads being in the wrong place. That one kind of throws me for a loop. Okay, now I had last week actually stamped, embossed, and die cut this gorgeous flower from the Thankful Garden bundle. I did this on watercolor paper, and I really wanted to watercolor it last week, but I think I ran out of steam. And so I thought we would do this this week. So this is from our beautiful Thankful Garden bundle that I have an online class for that came out today. And you can still get it. Again, I have a couple of them left, so just register in the description of this video. There should be a link. All right, so watercoloring is just so perfect for this beautiful flower. So what I wanted to do was make a lovely card, and I'm thinking maybe some, well, yeah, some pecan pie, maybe a little pretty in pink, maybe even if we needed a darker color, some flirty flamingo. Ooh, love these colors. And then some lemon lime and or granny apple green. So I think that is a really lovely color combination for watercoloring. Now you can watercolor lots of different ways, but my personal favorite is to take the ink pad, squeeze the lid of it, and pick up the color that way. My second, that would be my personal favorite for card making, for just watercoloring in general, is to use watercolor paint, in case any of you are out there going, what now? Obviously, watercolor paints are my favorite. But what I love about this is it's easy, readily available, and we've all got it. We've all got ink pads and all the things. Okay, so I do have here a little bit of water that I use with my water painter because it's just so much easier. Whenever I paint, I love to have a paper towel or a rag handy so that I can wipe my brush off as I go. And we are going to do probably my favorite technique, which is called wet in wet, which is basically code for anybody can do this, no skill required. So what I'm going to do is take this first bloom of my flower and just cover it in some water. And then what I'm going to do is pick up some of my color and just kind of touch it in here and let it just kind of bleed around the color, or the water, sorry. Okay, then I will switch colors by rinsing my brush off. You can see it's stained, but that color's not coming out. It's just my bristles are stained, and that makes no difference to how it works. Ooh, I picked the wrong color next. I like to go lightest to darkest. So then I'm going to do some pretty in pink. And by the way, if you get talking in your video too long, sometimes that water dries and then it doesn't blend as well. All you got to do is just add a little bit more water to it, and look at how pretty these colors are. They're just fun, pretty colors. Now I'm going to just touch in a little bit more of that darker color just to make it interesting. And I do love having lots of water because then that all kind of blends and bleeds the colors. And I'm literally just dropping color in here. I'm not really doing much for shading or blending anything out. I'm just throwing color where it sort of lands. And look at how pretty that bloom is. It's just so fun. Now, the water tends to go where there's water, the color does. So if like you didn't, like you can see right here, I didn't quite get my water all the way out to the edge. So then I'm just going to soften that and let it go. If I go outside the lines, I'm not going to worry one little bit about it. And if it's not perfect, I'm also not going to worry, because watercolor is not usually, I mean, you can do it, but it's generally not a super precise method of painting. It can be, but not generally how I do it. So anyway, we're letting those colors kind of blend and bleed together. Looks great. Let's go into our second bloom. And this time I'm going to, once again, color the bloom with water. So just clean, clear water on here. Now, as soon as I touch this to my other petal, you'll see, woo, the water just, or the color starts blending in, and that's just fine. Love it. I'm going to go a little wild and put my dark color in first here. Rinse my brush and then add some other colors to the mix. Finishing with my lightest color actually, which is this peach pie. And again, going outside the lines, not caring too much about how perfect it is. And then again, you can get some fun effects by just dropping in clean water. I did that over here, and you can see it made some kind of cool effects. And just playing with adding water and watching what happens. So this can just be so much fun to play with. Okay. Lisa, you're not old enough for grandchildren. I'm just saying. Laura asked if this is watercolor paper. You bet your bottom dollar it is. None of this would work on regular cardstock. It just won't. Regular cardstock can't stand up to this much water. It will pill and wrinkle, and no good will come of any of that. Okay, now, I think I mentioned, by the way, that I heat embossed this in gold powder on watercolor paper at the beginning, but there it is for you one more time. Okay, so now we're doing the leaves. Now, I am going to be a little bit careful here because I do not want my pink and green to mix, because that's going to turn ugly. So as long as my water doesn't touch, like remember how we had it touch over here and it went, phew, we're going to be careful to not touch any of this water to the green. Excuse me. So no water is touching, that I put down is touching the bloom we already did, because I do not want those colors to blend, because they will end up being kind of ugly. Okay, so I've put some of my lemon lime twist down. Now I'm going to do some granny apple, which is a little bit deeper color. You can also see that I use my my paper towel to kind of control how much color I have on my brush at any time. So I can add more color, add more water, and test it out on that paper towel. Again, I'm being kind of messy with this. Not so messy that I blend colors I don't want to blend, but not really giving it too much thought, because I believe anybody can watercolor and it will look fabulous. Okay, so there's that. Now you can see the bloom is already starting to dry. It's still a little wet, but it's already starting to dry. Looking good. Because it's a little bit drier over here, I'm going to reach this out just a little bit closer to that bloom. It should still be okay. It's bleeding a little bit, but not too bad, so I'm not going to stress. Because watercoloring is relaxing. We don't ever stress. Okay, there we go. All right, we're going to let that sit and dry for a moment. Now I want something really pretty to go in the background. And I think the best way to get a pretty background that matches is to paint it. Okay, so I'm going to grab another piece of my watercolor paper. This time we're going to create our background. Okay, so I'm going to cut this to 3 3/4 by 5 inch. And I did not just dump my card samples in my open ink pads. I don't know what any of you are talking about. Okay, now for this, I'm going to take this is a wash brush, the larger water painter. And once again, we're going to just do the background. Getting it nice and wet, and then we're going to let those colors kind of float in here. And you can see it's pretty soft. That's okay, but I want a little bit more color on there. Here is where, if you need to, you can drop some re-inker into your ink pads to get a little bit more color. Because this is also going to dry a little bit lighter than it is right now. So you always want to make sure it's at least as vibrant as you'd like it to be when it's wet, because it does dry a little bit lighter. That's just how it works. That looks pretty good, but I think I want a little bit more color, so I'm going to take my lid, I'm going to squeeze it. Now, if you don't have that palm strength to do that squeeze, that's okay, I understand. You can take and touch your ink pad to, say, a clean block. You can touch it to a dirty block, but I recommend a clean one. And it will do the same thing. Okay. All right, a little bit more paint. I'm trying to make sure I go all the way to the edges here. Okay, that looks lovely. Now what I'm going to do is my favorite thing. This is sort of my secret sauce. I'm going to tap, this is really drippy wet, and I'm going to tap it on here, my finger, and then that's going to drip water in here, and look at the results. It looks super cool. I love doing that. It's very fun. Now we're also going to take this up a notch. I'm going to use some of my clear Stella, which most likely has rubbing alcohol in it. I use rubbing alcohol to extend the life of my clear Stella. And when you add rubbing alcohol to watercoloring, you get interesting effects. This also has the shimmer in it. So let's just go ahead and do a little spritzing with my clear Stella on here. And then that is also going to, you don't see it a ton, but it's also kind of splotching that background up a little further. You probably aren't seeing it, but as it dries, it may become more apparent. Also, I'm not sure if that one is like almost empty. Yeah, let's try this one. Yeah. Oh, now we got more shimmer. Okay, now what we need to do is be patient while this dries, but look at how pretty this is. Now you guys saw that. There was not a lot of skill involved in this. Now at this point, as it's not quite totally dry, but it's close, I am going to come in here and add another layer of color with my Granny Apple Green. And when I do that, you can see it's much darker because I'm layering color upon color. And then that just makes it a little bit more vibrant. Okay, we'll let that dry. Everything's drying, so we're going to cover up all of these ink pads. And then we're going to get our card base set up, which I think should be Pretty in Pink and Peach Pie. Okay, so, oh, I can see the shimmer in there. Love it. Love it. All right, Pretty in Pink and Peach Pie. And then because we used gold, we could put some gold in here as well. All right, let me grab my gold paper. All right. Ooh. Okay, so that was 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to do 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. The colors on the flower were, cutting this a little bigger, Peach Pie, Flirty Flamingo, and Pretty in Pink. What size? 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Sorry, I had to really think about that. Okay, and then I will do a 4 by 5 1/4 layer as well. Oh, she's gonna be pretty. And then the greens were lemon lime twist and granny apple. Okay. Now I'm gonna layer these two together. And even though I believe it's a sacrilege, we're not gonna take the time to cut anything out of the center of this gold foil because we are covering it all up. Normally I would. But nobody wants to take time for that. All right, now this is taking forever to dry. So you did see I put a ton of water on here. So let's just make it happen a little faster. Also, I believe there was a ton of dust on my brush, or probably my ink pad lids. Sometimes that happens. And look at how fun this splotchy look is, because we spritzed that water in our background, as well as the Clear Wing Castella. Now a little tip for you, flip it over, because watercolor paper does absorb water. It, if you heat it from both sides, that helps it dry a little bit more even without the major warping. It's gonna warp a little, you can't get around that, but this keeps it to a minimum. I feel like that's pretty dry. And there we go. Oh, I don't know if you can see the shimmer in there, but I'm loving it. Okay, I'm also going to wipe off, because there really was kind of a lot of schmutz on there. That is an official term, by the way, so don't be fooled. Okay, I'm gonna put an excess amount of adhesive on here because it did warp just a bit. And we've got these nice skinny layers for our card. It's so pretty. Look at that. And then we're gonna pop this up onto our card along with our gorgeous flower. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay, but we need a sentiment on here, and thankfully, our thankful garden has some really pretty sentiments. So I think I'm gonna do Thankful for You, Friend. I was gonna say, as long as I can find it. But actually maybe I won't, because it's not gonna fit there very well. So we're gonna do With Love instead. Okay, now I do want to clean this because I'm pretty sure it's dirty at the moment. And we don't need to add to it. Now I'm going, well, I feel like Flirty Flamingo would probably show up better, but my card base is Pretty in Pink, so we're gonna go with Pretty in Pink. I'm inking it up really nicely, and I'm stamping it down. Oh, fabulous. The stamping gods were with us, friends. I love when that happens. Okay, now I'm gonna take and put a little unexpected gold on here. This stuff, you know, when I first saw this, I was like, oh boy, here we go. I love it. It's really pretty. It actually adds a lovely touch. It's super thin. You can tie this, no problemo, but we're just gonna go across our sheet, kind of like this. But you could tie it like a bow with this if you wanted. It actually ties pretty well. But what I'm looking for here is some Seal Plus. And I'm gonna just tack it down, but I wanna make sure it's going across straight, not crooked, because nobody likes that. And this just adds kind of a fun touch, and I think accents so nicely with the gold in our embossing, the gold in our foil, and all the things. And then we're going to pop that flower right on top. Oh, so gorgeous. Okay. Tracy says I'm the watercolor queen. That's so nice of you, Tracy. I think that's like the nicest compliment I've gotten in a little while. I appreciate that. I take my rain seriously too. I do love watercoloring. I think that's probably not exactly a surprise to any of you. Okay. I also like using dimensionals. Also not a surprise to many of you. Okay. Ooh, don't just throw your flower on here, Dina. Place it nicely. Oh, so pretty. Okay, and then we're going to add this to our card. I thought I'd pop it up, but I think I'm just going to throw it on here. Like so. Love this so much. Okay, then we can take our iridescent foil gems, which have a little bit of gold in them, and add them to our card. Well, okay, so Cheryl says I need a watercolor tiara. I actually have a tiara. Kelly Barb and I used to wear tiaras when we went to Stampin' Up! Events, but it turns out they really kind of hurt your head after a while. And I do have mine, but because my watercoloring involves me sticking my head down in what I'm doing, they're actually not very practical, but I do love the sentiment. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few of these on here, another one up here. So pretty. So pretty. Isn't this just stunningly gorgeous, if I may say? Oh, I do love it. Okay, so then the inside of our card. If only I had like a little swatch of watercolor paper. Oh, like maybe, is this? Nope. I must have. Hold on. We're having a coordinating piece on the inside because we can. Okay, so this is watercolor paper that I'm going to color lightly and quickly. Ooh, well, here, actually, I have, well, no. Okay, sorry. Here's my brush. So I'm going to just put some paint on here, or water on here, and then I'm going to grab a little more paint. And by paint, I mean ink from my ink pad. And we're just getting some color down like so. I'm probably only going to do 2 colors just because it's the inside. Nobody will know. Ooh, now here's a dangerous thing I just did. My brush still had plenty of pink on it, pretty in pink, and I am touching it all over the inside of this lid, right? And that's mixing colors. So before I were to squeeze this, I want to get the pink out, so I will just wipe it out so that I don't contaminate the ink pad itself. Also, when you maybe saw I had a wet brush in here and sometimes it was a little bit wet, you don't want to squeeze a wet, like watery wet lid to your pad either, because that will put water in your ink pad and then it'll be a weird blotch when you go to stamp it next. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now this piece, you can see we didn't do anything fancy to that, just threw it on here. Oh, Casey, your sweet son. I still have that picture of Legos he made of watching Dina live. That just still makes my heart happy. I understand Minecraft. I had kids go through that phase too. Okay, so there we have just a fun little pretty strip, and then we'll add that to this piece to make it extra, because that's how we roll here at the Creativity Cave. We are extra. At least we can be from time to time. All right, then last but not least, here's, oh gosh, we are just rolling with the theme of cards for friends for no good reason. Again, that was a dirty stamp, so we cleaned it. We'll stamp this in pretty in pink and add the sentiment. Thankful for you, friend. So with love on the front, because we didn't have really enough room for thankful for you, friend. I mean, we probably could have made it work, but here we are making it work on the inside. Okay. There we go. Oh, isn't that pretty? Gosh, I impressed even myself. All right. Well, I hope you loved our projects. Let me bring in everything we made today. And if you missed the theme, I would love and challenge and encourage all of you to send a card to somebody in your life that you know, whether it's a virtual person or not a virtual person. The people are real. Maybe you know them from being online. Maybe you know them from your own friends or family. But send a card to somebody to let them know you are thinking of them in honor of Joy Not Joyce. That would just make my heart happy. And then if you are in Sending Sunshine and Rainbows, watch, because I will have a nomination for her son and daughter-in-law to receive cards from our group, because card making was such a special part of her life. So please join me with that. All right, friends, thank you so much for stamping with me today. Gosh, I had a nice time. Sure made me happy to make these pretty cards with you. I hope you loved them as well. I think I did all right. Don't forget, today's the last day to get entered into the drawing for our Stamping with the Creativity Cave card challenge. We'll have a new challenge next week. Here are our pretty cards. I will get them on our or on the website. Oh my gosh, Kelly, you're watching. I don't know if you saw the beginning. I was talking about my favorite memory of her was that night in the hotel room in Ohio when we were like rocking out. I believe you were DJing. And she was just a riot. She had a quick wit about her that just made my heart happy. And she's just the sweetest lady. So, and I think you were probably there too, Kelly, when we did the wind-up toy races that first time. She was part of the inaugural wind-up toy race when we had those little green dinosaurs from Target. Anyway, well, thanks guys for being here. I hope you have a great week. Marcia asked, do I ever get nervous with everyone watching? No, not at all. But Marcia, I've been doing this for like quite a few years. I probably did at the beginning when I first started doing this, but not anymore. You know, when I get nervous is sometimes when I do bingos, because I'm always nervous that I want to catch, you know, all the stuff. Yeah. Anyway, thanks guys for being here. I appreciate you. If you could give me the thumbs up, that makes such a huge difference. Let me know which card is your favorite of these three, by the way. I always love knowing which ones you like the best. Please let me know in the comments, because I just love knowing that information. And thanks again so much for being here. I will see you right back here next week. Bye, guys.